Okay, so contrary to what many women believe, it's fairly easy to develop a long-term, stable, intimate, and mutually fulfilling relationship with a guy. Or at least that's what Dave Barry claims in the essay she drives for the relationship He's Lost in the Transmission, where he hilariously explains the confusion that sometimes comes with dating. He does this by allowing you to look into both the guys' and girls' sides of a relationship. So, contrary to what many women believe, it's fairly easy to develop a long-term, stable, intimate, and mutually fulfilling relationship with a guy. Of course, this guy has to be a Labrador Retriever. With human guys, it's extremely difficult. This is because guys don't really grasp what women mean by the term relationship. Let's say a guy named Roger is attracted to a woman named Elaine. He asks her out to a movie, she accepts, they have a pretty good time. A few nights later, he asks her out to dinner, and again they enjoy themselves. They continue to see each other regularly, and after a while, neither one of them is seeing anybody else. And then one evening, when they're driving home, a thought occurs to Elaine, and without really thinking, she says it aloud. Do you realize that as of tonight, we've been seeing each other for exactly 6 months? And then there is silence in the car. To Elaine, it seems like a very loud silence. She thinks to herself, gee, I wonder if it bothers him that I said that. Maybe he's been feeling confined by our relationship. Maybe he thinks I'm trying to push him into some kind of obligation that he doesn't want, or isn't sure of. And Roger is thinking, gosh, 6 months. And Elaine is thinking, but hey, I'm not so sure I kind of want this relationship either. Sometimes I wish I had a little more space, so I'd have time to think about whether I really want us to keep going the way we are, moving steadily toward, where are we going? Are we just going to keep seeing each other at this level of intimacy? Are we heading towards marriage? Towards children? Toward a lifetime together? Am I ready for that level of commitment? Do I really even know this person? And Roger is thinking, so that means, let's see, it was February when we started going out, which was right after I had the car at the dealer's, which means, let me check the odometer. I am way overdue for an oil change here. And Elaine is thinking, he's upset. I can see it on his face. Maybe I'm reading this completely wrong. Maybe he wants more from a relationship, more intimacy, more commitment. Maybe he has sensed, even before I sensed it, that I was feeling some reservations. Yes, I bet that's it. That's why he's so reluctant to say anything about his own feelings. He's afraid of being rejected. And Roger is thinking, and I'm going to have them look at the transmission again. I don't care what those morons say, it's still not shifting right. And they better not try and blame it on the cold weather this time. What cold weather? It's 87 degrees out and this thing is shifting like a garbage truck, and I paid those incompetent thieves $600. There is a communications gap. And Elaine is thinking, he's angry, and I don't blame him. I'd be angry too. Oh, I feel so guilty putting him through this. But I can't help the way I feel. I'm just not sure. And Roger is thinking they'll probably say it's only a 90-day warranty. That's exactly what they're gonna say, the scumballs. And Elaine is thinking, well, maybe I'm just too idealistic, waiting for a knight to come riding on his white horse when I'm sitting right next to a perfectly good person, a person I enjoy being with, a person I truly do care about, a person who seems to truly care about me, a person who is in pain because of my schoolgirl romantic fantasy. And Roger is thinking, warranty? They want a warranty? I'll give them a warranty. I'll take their warranty and stick it right where it doesn't belong. Roger, Elaine says aloud. What? Says Roger, startled. Please don't torture yourself like this, she says, her eyes beginning to brim with tears. Maybe I should never have. Oh, I feel so. And she breaks down sobbing. What? Says Roger. I'm such a fool, Elaine sobs. I know there's no knight. I really know that. It's silly. There's no knight and there's no horse. There's no horse? Says Roger. You think I'm a fool, don't you? Elaine says. No, says Roger, glad to finally know the right answer. It's that I need some time, Elaine says. There's a 15-second pause while Roger, thinking as fast as he can, tries to come up with a safe response. And finally, he comes up with one that he thinks might work. Yes, he says. Now we have a befuddled beau. Elaine, deeply moved, touches his hand. Oh, Roger, do you really feel that way? She says. What way? Says Roger. That way about time, says Elaine. Oh, says Roger. Yes. Elaine turns to face him and gazes deeply into his eyes, causing him to become very nervous about what she might say next, especially if it involves a horse. At last, she speaks. "Thank you, Roger," she says. "Well, thank you," says Roger. Then he takes her home, and she lies on her bed, a conflicted, tortured soul, and weeps until dawn. Whereas, when Roger gets back to his place, he opens a bag of Doritos, turns on the TV, and immediately becomes deeply involved in a rerun of a tennis match between two Czechoslovakians he's never heard of. A tiny voice in the far recesses of his mind tells him that something major is going on back there in the car, but he's pretty sure that he would never understand what, and so he figures it's better if he doesn't think about it. This is also Roger's policy regarding world hunger. And the next day Elaine will call her closest friend, or perhaps two of them, and they will talk about this situation for 6 straight hours. In painstaking detail, they will analyze everything she said and everything he said, going over it time and time again, exploring every word, expression, and gesture for nuances of meaning, considering every possible ramification. They will continue to discuss this subject off and on for weeks, maybe months, never reaching any definite conclusions, but never getting bored with it either. Meanwhile, Roger, while playing racquetball one day with a mutual friend of his and Elaine's, will pause just before serving and frown and say, "Norm, did Elaine ever own a horse?" We're not talking about different wavelengths here. We're talking about different planets and completely different solar systems. Elaine cannot communicate meaningfully with Roger about the relationship any more than she can meaningfully play chess with a duck, because the sum total of Roger's thinking on this particular topic is as follows. Huh? But the point I'm trying to make is that if you're a woman and you want to have a successful relationship with a guy, the #1 tip to remember is never assume that the guy understands that you and he have a relationship. The guy will not realize this on his own. You have to plant the idea in his brain by constantly making subtle references to it in your everyday conversation, such as, "Roger, would you mind passing me the sweet and low inasmuch as we have a relationship?" Or, "Wake up, Roger, there's a prowler in the den, and we have a relationship. You and I do, I mean. Good news, Roger. The gynecologist says we're having our 4th child, which will serve as yet another indication that we have a relationship. Roger, inasmuch as this plane is crashing, and we probably only have a minute to live, I want you to know that we've had a wonderful 53 years of marriage together, which clearly constitutes a relationship." Never let up, women. Pound away relentlessly at this concept, and eventually it will start to penetrate the guy's brain. Someday he might even start thinking about it on his own. He'll be talking with some other guys about women, and out of the blue he'll say, "Elaine and I, we have this thing," and he will sincerely mean it. The next relationship enhancement tip is, do not expect the guy to make a hasty commitment. By hasty, I mean within your lifetime. Guys are extremely reluctant to make commitment. This is because they never feel ready. I'm sorry guys are always telling women, but I'm just not ready to make a commitment. Guys are in a permanent state of non-readiness. If guys were turkey breasts, you could put them in a 350-degree oven on July 4th and they would not be ready by Thanksgiving. Thank you.